It's 17 August. Gonna start the show out a little different. I hope y'all watched last night's show about the sheriff and our hair jail director to the Gestapo and how all that stuff doesn't match. I'll cover that a little bit, but I'm gonna shift away from the local stuff. Talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, so you have to put up with it if you want to hear the local corruption. Had a rough few days. Gotta admit, didn't think it would bother me, but to see what's going on in Afghanistan is devastating for me to watch. You know, I spent years of my life over there, over about a period of 18 years, in and out of there and training kids going there. I was connected to it every day of my life since pretty much the end of 2001 until I retired about a year ago. It's something I dealt with every day. My friends lived over there and helped people after they were retired and worked for the government. But I'm going to say this. If you voted for Biden, F you, UPOS. People like you are destroying America, because if you can't see what this party has done, we don't have a border. We got people pouring in. 1 million people have poured in that they don't know shit. And you've shown the world the U.S. is not secure. You've taken 20 years of policy, whether it be mistaked or not, and thrown it out the window at the expense of anybody ever trusting America to back what it says. Those people falling off those planes to hamburger pieces, they had a choice. Be shot by the Taliban or ride the damn bottom of the plane out and drop off when it's your choice to die. But either way, it was pretty much over for some of them. I just don't know what to say about this. We spent countless lives, and young men and young women were put in the silver boxes on aircraft, took long rides to Europe and over, be handed over. It's political pawns, because when you throw it away, we were pretty much maintaining the security over there with 2,500 people, 2,500, and the rest were their people. But we were the leadership, we were the intelligence, we were the know-how and how to keep them at bay with just 2,500 people. But you just threw away the efforts of 20 years, is what the Democrats did. And they don't even freaking know it. They don't even see America just crumbling. They don't. Biden thinks foreign policy happens on the back of a hooker's hind end with his son Hunter. That is not foreign policy. That's DNA, just like here in Walton County. It's just code. But you should be offended as an American by Afghanistan. $2 trillion just to walk away. What can you imagine what we could have done with 2 trillion? We could have put $500 billion in the U.S. education system, $500 billion in bridges, $500 billion into buying us federal parks and beaches, $500 billion in roads and infrastructure. I promise you, and a border wall, we argued over a few billion, and we just threw away 2 trillion. Is Satan Pelosi? Do y'all not get the propaganda? The news is the propaganda. Most Germans did not believe that they were going to exterminate all those people in trains because the government said it wasn't going to happen. And your taxes are going down. And I've got some oceanfront property in Paxton, Florida, which is 50 miles from the beach. I like to see it's oceanfront. You just got to squint. I spent a lot of my life and a lot of Christmases over there and lost some damn dear friends and patriots that I just can't speak enough of in that sorry ass country. But it had a reason. And we could have afforded 2,500 people never to have to go back and stabilize that region again. But that's how Biden and Democrats make money, is off war. It ain't the conservative. We use decisive. Conservatives use decisive military action. The Democrats, this is just a long train of money and politics. And with us just holding it with 2,500 people, Joe is going to make sure he cranked up all that shit again, because then it becomes a massive distraction for the public and for the news media to feed off of. But this is 100% laid on Biden and that whore Camilla, you know, Kamala. I don't give a shit what you call her. That's about a useless person. Biden is as useless as they come. And he really is a traitor. And they don't want you to know about the election and about the border and all the shit that's really crushing America. We don't have any protections in this country to even know who's coming here. We're worried to death about if you've got your vaccination card. Man, we are lost. I hate to start the show off that way, but I can't spend 20-some years of my life involved in a political action that actually had a purpose. Remember 9/11? Remember when we all didn't want that to happen again? Damn, Biden just made sure it will happen again. So you remember that. When there comes a big attack on America, you just think of Democrats and Joe Biden, because that's who it'll be brought to you by. I don't get it. We've lost our way. Come on, people. Let's hold these people accountable. So we'll roll into the local part of this show tonight. I hope you caught that last night. I caught Mike Atkins just about lying about everything. Remember when he just jumped in there and said he's going to tell us about Corey's career? Mike, I loved how you said that you believed he was a director from 2005 to 2007, an associate warden. Well, hell, Corey's own resume says he was working in the deputy tax collector's office. What the hell is that collecting tag money got to do with the jail? It was just false what you said, Mike. Everything you said was a dodge. And I hope that people say that just because you talk and answer fast doesn't mean you've said a thing correct. And you sure didn't last time. And if you believe that the best and brightest person to run our jail was Mike's friend who was 16 years expired on his qualifications, who the job had to be rewritten just so he could have it, if you think that's what we need in America and you want that in your local backyard, that's how we pick the best and brightest to represent us, the public, with our taxes and for our Constitution. Listen, Mike Atkinson doesn't know a thing about the Constitution. The Constitution to Mike Atkinson is what occurs when it's messed up, when he spent too many hours at the buffet line. That's what the Constitution, because he's not worried about this corruption. He's not worried about the money being polluted. He's not worried about $500 million in tax fraud. And he claims he don't even know about that list, but I showed you last night. He knows about all of it. And I've got emails sending links up. We're going to go in a different direction. And Godwin, I think you owe all of us, Mike. You better be able to produce some military records for that veteran status claimed by your director. We would like to see those DD-214s. Just show them to us. Hell, if that's the truth, if he's an Army veteran, damn, I'd be proud of you. You want to come see mine, Mike? You want to come see Corey's records? You want to come see those things I read off last night? Mike, we scan you another copy, but I'm always happy to email, but you never answer me. Is the sheriff so busy, or do your fingers get stuck with all that grease and food on the end of them where you can't tie them? That's why you have a PIO. Anyway. Well, I think that's most of it tonight. We'll roll into the shit show with Larry Jones and the commission. What is going on? It's front page of the paper with Stan and all that shit show. But the real deal is, commissioners, you got any balls? Are you guys going to really do anything? Because it seems like no matter how you read that policy, even if there's 120 hours of sick leave and 120 hours of accrued saved leave, that gives the administrator the max option, depending on how you read it, of 120 to 240 hours on a separation plan. But old Stan got 10 to 20 times that. At Larry's authority, and it was never brought in front of the BCC. This gross malfeasance of his job, and it just so happens right before Larry will probably try to pull a medical retirement, stick all of us with his bills. He's going to say, well, look, you did that for Stan. No, Larry is rewriting drafts and rewriting policies and trying to do things with the other people leaving. So when he leaves, We all pay him too. Write your commissioners and tell them that's it. Go to the meetings. Call in on Zoom and say, why was Larry Jones autonomously, if he'd never done anything else, he completely violated the BCC's policy at least tenfold. And it may have cost the taxpayers $100,000. A termination will solve the problem with Larry Jones. I don't really give a shit about your health, Larry, because you sure made plenty of other people's health bad worrying about all the lies that you've told. And his whole family can listen to this and stick it. Because I promise you, I know plenty of families that have suffered under Larry's lies, Larry the Leech, and his worthless ass brother-in-law, Teddy Stewart, chaired the planning board at excruciating corruption and approved every bit of the mess that you see now. Thank you, Teddy Stewart. Have another biscuit, you fat ass. Anyway, whatever. Smoke another cigarette, gag the county down. Mike says there's only 20 families that count. If you've had enough of that in the Alan Osborne show, and if you believe the best qualified guy was the best and the brightest was a 16-year buddy, expired on his qualifications, well, you might be interested in that oceanfront property up in Paxton. You could probably call good old Scott Brandon, Matt Carpenter. Aren't they realtors too? Help you out with that. Ask about the jail investigation papers from Chapman and Mikey. There's lots of them. How come the jail personnel has doubled? And how come the number of personnel when Gladwell was there has doubled? And is the jail out trying to take other prisoners and getting business? And that's why we can't have enough patrolmen on the streets, is because of that. That's ridiculous. If we're using the jail to make money so Mike can pay other people and sacrifice our service to the community, people stop calling me during my show. We got a problem with that. That jail's a debacle, and I hope I showed all of that. So that's the show for 17 August. BCC and the sheriff still a shit show. Larry's still in charge. Let's do something about it. Y'all keep them straight out there in Alan Osborne land. You hear? Bye-bye.